congratulate you for first accepting to undertake this weighty responsibility that we put on your shoulders to discuss the issues that are of concern to all of us as a nation. And I am very happy, and I had no doubt in my mind, having traveled this journey as a politician in Kenya for a long time, I had no doubt in my mind that this was an assignment that was doable. And I'm very proud that we finally have a report, and the report has already been adopted by both houses of parliament, and we are now well on course to implementing it. Let me also take this opportunity to commend our former Prime Minister, the Honorable Raila Odinga, for the decision that we jointly made to make sure that we take the country on this path, the path of peace, of dialogue, consultation, conversation, that is what defines Kenya. Kenya is a country that is very well known, and we have credentials as a country, as believers in democracy, and that we can always use democratic means to resolve whatever issues that arise. Because as our democracy matures, we consistently have to look out for avenues that gives us the opportunity and leverage to resolve whatever issues that are identified amongst us. And therefore, I'm very happy that today what happened to us and the teams managed to hammer out an agreement on many issues, actually most of the issues. And what is outstanding are issues that we will resolve as a matter of course, and I'm sure that the same commitment that brought us to this point will take us to the finish line. I am particularly happy of proposals, and we now have a joint proposal with a bill in Parliament. We also have agreed on the issues of the other proposal that's already in Parliament with a bill is ESCC. I hope you included Mambo Matatu. Yeah, okay. Again, let me also congratulate you on finding an agreement on the constitutional provision that will make NGCDF a constitutional imperative, so to speak. The oversight fund that the Senate will access, and also NGAF that will be available to our women members of parliament. I am sure Wambilianga and my sister here, Amina, will be happy when we finally make that NGAF a constitutional
bill that will constitutionally provide for resources for our women members of parliament to discharge their responsibilities and to serve the people of Kenya appropriately. And as Stephen has said, I am happy that the outstanding issue of two-thirds gender, finally, both sides have agreed on a way forward. I want to encourage all of us that this time round, I think we have an opportunity to make sure that we deliver on this constitutional imperative. Parliament is teething on a problematic area on the matter of two-thirds gender rule. So hopefully we will be able this time round, and I am very confident that this time round we will get it right, and the women of Kenya will take their place of leadership appropriately in the Republic of Kenya, because we are all the poorer if women have not taken up their position in the leadership of Kenya. Today, I think, is a very important day. We are celebrating International Women's Day. And as we do that, we are having this concurrence of minds on delivering on the two-thirds gender provision. So I hope, in honor of all our girls, our daughters, our wives, our mothers, and all the women of Kenya, we will be able to do this for us as a country. Let me also congratulate all of you. I know that when you have constituencies, you know, when you represent people, it's difficult to carry everybody's view. And sometimes you get blamed for this or the other. But I am confident that you had the fortitude and the strength and commitment to make sure that you did the right thing. So, members of this committee, members of the Secretariat, I want to give you my assurance that I will do the best I can to make sure that we deliver on the agreement that you have made. It is not an agreement of one side versus the other. It is our collective position. And we will mobilize members of parliament. We will mobilize every aspect of what is required so that we can deliver on this commitment. And let me give my commitment that I will do the best I can. We all know, you know, the good thing is that all of us here are members of parliament. Have been members of parliament, let me put it correctly. Have been members of parliament. And you know how parliament operates. Even on bills that I went out with my Kenya Kwanza people. We went out, we told people, we are going to run a program called housing. So when it comes to passing the bill on housing, the people you were with on the platform now come again and say, lakini sasa unajua, iko maneno. Then you ask them, but we promised the people. So those dynamics, we have to keep working at them. So I really want to ask Parliament this time round, because whenever I call a PG here, and they really take a lot of my time, I have to explain at length many times. I have to repeat myself for us to forge an agreement. I promise to do the same over this report. And I really want to persuade our members of parliament from both sides of the House to work towards doing the best for Kenya. I ask also colleagues from the other side to also mobilize their teams and take time so that people understand why we are doing this. Because sometimes Parliament pushes back and say they have a mind of their own, and they tell us that they are an independent house and we should not give them lectures. And I run into that all the time. But I'm sure this time round, knowing the magnitude of what we want to do, I want to ask members of Parliament to really consider working with us on this subject. Finally, let me commit to you, as I commit to the nation, that we will continue to do our best as a country to forge unity, peace, and so that we can drive the progress of Kenya, which leaves no citizen, no community, no side behind, that we will all move together. So thank you very much for the good job that you have done. When finally the history of Kenya will be written, I am sure that if you will not have a chapter, you will not miss some paragraphs in some place, that there were some good people who did a good job for Kenya. But when finally I write mine, surely you'll have a chapter. So I want to say thank you very much. I know my friend, former Vice President, has said that these good people have said that we are pushing the candidature of the former Prime Minister. And I said when I was in Parliament the other day with the East African Legislative Assembly that indeed we have agreed as leaders from the East African community, because it is the turn for the East African side of our continent to provide the leadership for AU. I have consulted with the leaders of our region, and we have agreed to support the candidature of the Honorable Raila Odinga. And it is because, number one, he is Kenyan. Number two, we believe he has the stature and the wherewithal to handle the affairs of that office. And number three, as East Africans, we have agreed that we move together in that direction. So, my friend Stephen and the teams here, we all remember we pushed the candidature of Amina the last time. We did very well. She won the first round, but she didn't win the final round. And it is another opportunity for us as a country to present a candidate from Kenya for the position of AU. This is not about political sides. This is about Kenya. And we must always remember that there is politics and we have a nation. And when there are issues that concern Kenya as a nation, we must close ranks as communities, as parties, as sides, so that we can all move together. In fact, we do not have as many Kenyans in international positions as we should. And we should change our strategy so that we can be able to get more Kenyans occupying positions in the international framework, because